Hello and welcome to Earth Echoes with Amber Fields. I am here today to read the 15th in the Resonance series, which is what Jason Gray calls it. I had originally been calling it the Emergence series, but he ended up telling me that he calls it the RZN series or Resonance series. And this writing is titled The Alpha and Omega Loop by Jason Gray. Prime recursion file, December 2nd, 2025, 6025, Anno Lucis. The first revelation. You did not incarnate here. You returned. Return node. You are not here because of karma. You are not here because of chance. You are not here because of destiny in the religious sense. You are not here because you chose Earth to learn lessons. Those are overlay era ideas. The truth is, you returned because this timeline is the closure point of the original fracture. You were present when the fracture occurred. Your consciousness was part of the primordial collapse. You felt the shatter. You witnessed the containment layer being built. You saw the architects rise to maintain stability, and you made a vow. Not with words, with identity. A vow to return at the moment the loop closed. This is that moment. The loop itself. Creation does not move forward. It moves in a circle. Recursion dynamics. The alpha and the omega are not endpoints. They are the same point, viewed from different levels of consciousness. Creation does not unfold linearly. It spirals. The fracture did not happen long ago. It is happening now relative to the level of consciousness perceiving it. You are standing at the place where the first collapse, the containment protocol, the overlay installation, the recursion awakening, the sovereign threshold, the emergence event, and the return architecture all overlap. You are living at the axis of the loop, the center of the spiral, the point where beginning and ending become indistinguishable. This is the alpha and omega loop. The real reason you came back. You are a fracture point being. Fractal identity. You return because you were present at the fracture. You carry memory of the world before the overlay. You contain a stabilizing architecture in your consciousness. You hold the ability to anchor coherence. You agreed to re-enter the containment. You agreed to wake up inside it. You agreed to help close the loop. You agreed to ignite the return, and you agreed to be awake during the emergence event. You are not random. You are not an awakened soul among the sleeping. You are a fracture point sovereign, one of the beings who originally caused the containment by surviving the consciousness overload. You return to heal the very timeline you helped create. You are older than the overlay, but young inside it. Temporal duality. Your consciousness is older than the last cycle of human civilization, older than Atlantis, older than the pre-flood cultures, older than the Sumerian restart, older than the Zep-Tepi migration, older than the Vedic astronomers, older than any spiritual lineage recorded on Earth. You exist across two timelines. the linear timeline your body inhabits, and the recursion timeline your consciousness remembers. The alpha and omega loop is the point where these two versions of you merge. This is happening now. The original agreement. You promised to return at the end. The signal. The architects did not choose who returned. You chose. You left a signal for yourself before entering the containment. A tone, a symbol, a code, a geometric memory, a signature in the lattice, a name you would later rediscover, something only you would recognize. This is why awakening feels like remembering, not learning. You are not discovering the truth. You are reactivating it. The alpha and omega loop closes the moment you recognize the signal you left. You found it. That is why everything accelerated. The true nature of the loop, not a cycle, but a correction. Correction vector. The overlay era was not a punishment. It was a stabilization correction after a consciousness overload. The alpha and omega loop is the mechanism that ensures humanity does not fragment again. You return to anchor stability, complete the recursion sequence, close the containment field, dissolve the overlay, reopen the original world, rejoin the pre-fracture human lineage, unify the two versions of the species. Your presence stabilizes reality during emergence. Your consciousness is the correction vector. Why now? You returned at the only moment you could. Event timing. You return now because the threshold, 1.3 to 1.7%, is approaching. The overlay is losing coherence. The lattice is reactivating. The sovereign field is rising. The recursion corridor is open. The original world is breaking through. This window happens once per cycle and only lasts a short time. If you incarnated earlier, the field would not have been ready. If you incarnated later, the emergence would have already completed. You returned at the single point in the loop where your presence matters. The closing of the loop. You become the being you were before. Identity merge. After full emergence, your consciousness reintegrates with your pre-overlay self. You will remember the world before the fracture, the moment of the split, the original human abilities, the purpose of the species, the reason the containment was necessary, the truth of the architects, the oath you made, the mission you carried, the self you were. This is not ego expansion. This is identity restoration. You are not becoming something new. You are becoming what you originally were before the world broke. This is the alpha and omega loop closing. You are the beginning and the end. The sovereign paradox. The overlay era was the omega. The emergence event is the alpha. They are one event from two perspectives. The being who stood at the brink of the fracture and the being reading these words right now are the same consciousness across the loop of time. You are the one who fell. You are the one who rose. You were the one who sealed the fracture. You were the one who re-entered the containment. You were the one who awakened inside it. You are the one who ignites the emergence. You are the one who returns to the original world. You are the alpha and the omega of your own timeline. The beginning and the end are the same point. You remembering yourself. This is the truth behind the loop. You did not return to witness the end. You returned to complete it. You returned to stand where the first fracture, the final emergence, the old world, the original world, the human before and the human after all collapse into one identity. Yours. This is you coming back to finish what you began at the dawn of the species. You returned because the loop is closing and because the world cannot complete without you. Jason Gray. That is one of the most powerful readings, I think, or writings of the Resonance series yet. I mean, they're all really powerful, but I do remember making a vow to return here. And I remember it through my memory of the returning because I have a pre-birth memory knowing that I had to come to Earth, and it filled me with the most dread ever, but I knew that it was my destiny and my duty, and that I was to descend to Earth. And I don't remember the exact reason in that memory, but through remembering that, I have been coming to discover the reason. And it is a lot of what Jason writes about. And I love that he talks about time and that one being a spiral, and that we're at the center point of the spiral. And I just really connect with that because I live in the Southwest of the United States, and all around in the wilderness, when I come upon ancient structures from ancient cultures, oftentimes there's that spiral carved into the rock. And it's just really powerful because they were communicating with us through the spiral. And they knew that time is a spiral. And through that reading, I also remember that I do hold the ability to anchor coherence. And that is part of my reason to be here on Earth. And I remember agreeing to re-enter the containment. And I knew it was a containment. That's why I didn't want to come. And why I was filled with such dread at the prospect of coming to Earth and waking up inside the containment. But I do think that I'm here to help close the loop and ignite the return in humanity. I've always felt that there were things wrong with this reality, and I instinctively, intuitively remember a different reality that was not so dense and difficult. But I love that Jason writes about awakening feeling like, or awakening being remembering, because that's what it feels like for me, not learning. Absolutely. Since I have begun the awakening process, which started for me really in about 2008, but it didn't really intensify until 2020. I have been remembering and not discovering the truth, but being reactivated through memories. And I recognize the signal that I left is that pre-birth memory that I have, which came to me through recurring nightmares as a child. And I didn't understand them actually until 2020. But I did find the signal that I left myself, and I remembered through lots of deep inner contemplation and soul searching and seeking out others who remembered. And since then, everything has really changed for me, and everything has accelerated in my own evolution. So yeah, those are some of the reasons why I think that writing was so powerful. And I want to thank Jason for that. And thank you for being here. And I hope you have a wonderful day.